wondered what it's like to get a divorce in the state of Utah, Travis Christensen is coming from one of our courthouses and a little conversation they have for attorneys to sit and work and meet with folks in between. And I had some time today, so I thought I would just maybe take a little bit longer time than I normally do in my videos and explain most of the time how a divorce plays out in the state of Utah. So typically at some point, one of the parties, one of the partners, husband or wife, decides that, it's time to get a divorce. They're done. So they'll either on their own or meet with an attorney, they'll prepare a petition for divorce. And they will ask and basically say, hey, judge, this is what I want you to give me. And they're going to ask for something over here on the edges, on the fringe. Well, then they serve it. You're sitting there at your home one day and a constable or sheriff's deputy or process server, somebody knocks on your door, hands you some paperwork, and you've been served. Now, you may or may not have a clue that it was coming. I've had clients taken completely by surprise and others wondering what had taken so long. So then the person that is served will either on their own or meet with an attorney, file a response. And often that response is what's called an answer and counterclaim. And they're going to ask for the stuff clear over on this edge of the spectrum. And so here you've got two people that have worked together to oftentimes start a family or a marriage, and they're starting out clear over here on the fringes. Well, this can cause some emotion, and how dare they ask for that or want this, and it really becomes difficult. This is one of the most critical times, in my opinion, to have an attorney, because one of our jobs, as far as I'm concerned, is to help manage client emotion and help sometimes delay the case a little bit so that that emotion can die out, reasonable minds can prevail, and we can get the case worked out. Now, the next step, sometimes we'll have temporary orders where people might need temporary child support, temporary alimony. Utah is soon going to be implementing a rule in November of 2019 requiring that certain properties not be sold off or some of those kind of things. So, those temporary order things might happen. Sometimes they're stipulated. We might have to have a hearing on it. But we get through temporary orders, and then there's some required disclosures. Typically, this is your financial information. How much is in your 401k, your bank statements, pay stubs, kind of a list of assets and that kind of stuff. So everybody exchanges this information. And in Utah, we have mandatory mediation, and mediation is amazing. And so typically, mediation is happening somewhere, I'm going to say 4 to 7 months, at least in my experience, after that initial filing. So everybody's been clear out here on the edges. We've had some emotion and we've dealt with it, and hopefully people have calmed down a little bit so that when we get into mediation, it can be reasonable and rational and well thought out. Now, mediation, most of my cases work out at mediation. I think most divorce cases work out at mediation, and there's some very valid reasons for that. It's less expensive. You control the outcome, and there's a higher degree of compliance with mediated agreements than there are with orders that have been made by a judge at the end of a trial. You can also be more creative in mediation. The judges tend to look at the code books and want to follow those. In mediation, you and your attorneys and the other side and the mediator can help find creative solutions that might work better for your family than one of the cookie cutter approaches that the judges tend to go with. So, and then if there are children, Utah has a mandatory divorce education class. Those are typically done online now, at least in my area. In some areas of the state, you can actually go in and sit down and have kind of a live class where there might be some discussion and give and take. So that is most of the time what happens in a divorce. We solve them at mediation. If they aren't solved at mediation, there's a couple of different tracks that a case can take, and so I'll talk about those in another video. If you have any questions, please give us a call. We'd love to sit down and answer them for you and see if there's a place where we might be able to help you.